Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Diego Castro. Millions of Filipinos across the country trooped to polling centers to elect a new set of barangay leaders on Monday. Over in Dato Odin, Sinsuat, 2 were reported dead while 5 others were injured a few hours before voting started. According to initial reports, there had been a commotion between the camps of 2 opposing candidates in Barangay Bugawas. A shooting also took place in Pandag, Maguindanao del Sur, stopping voters from casting their votes. In Cotabato City, police had to step in as electoral board members after several teachers opted to not serve in these elections. A bit of a commotion also rocked Cotabato City Central Pilot School, with people trying to force their way against the crowd. Over in some of the Embo barangays, some voters had a hard time finding their names and precincts. A lot of it has to do with finding their names on the voters list as well as their precincts. Recall that a few months ago, the Embo barangays have been transferred to the jurisdiction of Taguig from Makati. Up north, the president didn't have much trouble casting his vote at the Mariano Marcos Elementary School in Batac, Ilocos Norte. In fact, he was quite the early bird, going in as soon as the precinct opened and casting his vote in more or less 5 minutes. He was also game for an interview, telling reporters about the importance of the barangay elections.
Pag sinabi ng mga barangay na magde-deliver ako sa iyo ng 350 votes dito sa aking barangay, asahan mo 350 yun, totoo yun. Kaya napakahalaga ng resulta nito para sa aming mga politiko. Napakahalaga ang resulta ng barangay election. Talagang crucial 'yan at it is held at a very intimate personal level. And that's why sometimes nagkakainitan ng husto. Kaya 'yun ang ating gustong iwasan.
As far as the DILG and poll watchdog PPCRV are concerned, this year's BSK elections has been generally peaceful. They did acknowledge the crimes reported in areas like the BARMM, although they said authorities were able to manage the situation on time.
Kung titignan mo, generally, this NCR maganda, no? Napakatahimik. Pero kung titignan mo, very, proactive ang kapulisan. Marami silang nauhuli na mga vote buying. No? Vote buying. Talaga sinisita nila.
Generally, okay, peaceful, and also orderly, except for a few incidents where voters difficulty of finding their names in the voters list.
Comelec wants a 1-week transition period for the newly elected BSK officials. Comelec Chairman George Garcia explained that this is to prevent any monetary accountabilities from incumbent officials which winning bets may be blamed for. Garcia said the Interior Department agreed to their request and will issue a memorandum concerning the matter. Meanwhile, all BSK candidates, including those who lost in the polls, are still required to submit their statement of contributions and expenditure or SOSE until November 29. In other news, the satisfaction ratings for President Bongbong Marcos and Vice President Sara Duterte continue to slide. Just last month, they suffered double-digit drops in Pulse Asia survey. And now, in Octa's most recent Tugon ng Masa survey, conducted from September 30 to October 4, the President's trust ratings went down by 3 percentage points to 73%, while his performance rating slid 6 percentage points to 71% from the second quarter. But it's Vice President Sara Duterte that suffered a more significant drop, with her performance rating seeing a double-digit decline of 12 percentage points to 70%, while her trust rating saw an 8-point drop to 75%. Across major areas, Marcos's performance rating declined the most in NCR at 12 points to 61%, while Duterte's lowest drop in performance was recorded in Visayas, down 16 points from 90% in the second quarter to only 74%. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. Who is the real barbarian at sea, China or the Philippines? That's at the heart of a spat between a former Chinese colonel and Philippine Coast Guard Commodore J. Tariela, who got into a verbal tussle over the weekend at an international conference. Xu Bu, a senior fellow of the Center for International Security and Strategy of Tsinghua University, accused Filipinos of barbarism. He cited two separate incidents in which a fisherman from China and another from Taiwan were killed. Xu added that PCG Commodore J. Tariela was portraying China as the, quote, devil in the region, while the Philippines, quote, almost looks like an angel.
Why were you so barbaric to kill Chinese fishermen?
Thank you for using the word.
Tariela, meanwhile, immediately clapped back at Xu's pronouncements.
Thank you for using the word barbaric. You keep on mentioning the word barbarism. But as I said, we abide with international rules-based order. I think the transparency initiative that we have been espousing for the past months is a clear understanding of what the word barbarism is. Because Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Philippines will always abide with the international rules-based order. I just don't know whether People's Republic of China is also willing to do the same.
Heads up, motorists. Fuel prices post a mixed movement effective today. Gasoline prices will hike by 45 centavos per liter. This is the third straight upward movement of gasoline prices. Meanwhile, prices for diesel will go down by 1 peso and 25 centavos a liter. And kerosene will be pricier by 1 peso and 20 centavos per liter. And that's it for this hour. Join us again at 9 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.